Right, I've just got back to the car. 3 days of cycling with Badger, who isn't here at the moment. I'm hoping he's going to turn up again soon. We've been on a wild adventure, and hopefully you're going to be able to sit down, enjoy and watch the video of our escapades, because there's been a few. How about this for a bridge stop? Lovely! First bit of gravel off-road, Badger's chuntering behind me, and I've never seen so many sheep. Pretty good view here, looking back down the valley, and actually, despite some of this really loose scree, I haven't managed to get the tyres to let go yet. Oh, yeah. I suppose we'll go catch him up. Right, we're about 10.5 miles in now. We pulled away from, I can't even remember what it's called, the place we started at, but we've ditched the cars and we're definitely into proper Wales now, although we haven't accumulated too much height just yet. Dominant high pressure over the UK, so the weather's going to be absolutely scorchio for the whole of Great Britain for the next few days. Did Wales get that memo? It's always bloody grey and drizzly. But hopefully tomorrow it will be a lot brighter and bluer. But I'm not too bothered. The Boca's doing me well so far. I was a bit apprehensive about the tyres, if I'm honest, worried they might be a bit too slick, so we'll see how they go. But with that extra volume, they're definitely nice and cushy. It really is a beautiful place to come and cycle your gravel bike, Wales. I can highly recommend it. Certainly a bit more adventurous than Somerset anyway. And the tyres, I've got nothing but good stuff to say about them so far. Nice and plush. They're gripping far better than I thought they might, and I've gone over some pretty loose, smaller gravel. I think once we get onto the much thicker, looser gravel, we'll see if they can keep up with Badger's Senderos, which have a much more prominent grip. Lovely. Right, we stopped for lunch next to this beautiful reservoir on a log pile, and anyone that follows Mason Boca on Instagram, or probably just about any other gravel bike, will know that taking off a photo of your bike next to a log pile is what's really important. Anyone that knows my relationship with Badger's Biking Bollocks will also know that I love to take the piss out of him for his...
I hate to interrupt you, but it's now
Badger's
Bikepacking.
Badger's Bikepacking, it's evolved apparently, but he still hasn't learnt how to sort out his batteries and his power for his Garmin. So here we are, Badger, stuck next to a lug pile.
All I'm doing is fiddling with my batteries.
But hey, what a place to stop for a bite to eat. Look at this. And let's go have a look at the bikes actually. So we've got Badger's titanium Boca, which I'm not jealous about at all, I promise. So there you go, Badger's custom titanium Boca. Size 56 Badger, but with a slightly taller head tube. Yeah. 2xGRX, Sendero 47mm tyres on, and a mixy blob of Apidura bags and some Blackburn up front. But I can't complain because I've got a proper mixy blob as well. Top Peak, Apidura, and then something else which I got off Planet X on the cheap, but actually they seem to do the job quite nicely, and I find the green matches in quite nicely with the rest of the bike. You got rid of your Fidlock cages off of this one though.
I didn't like them.
You prefer your side entry?
Yeah.
You're very on brand with your Mason bottles, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm cognizant I've waffled about my tyres a fair bit so far. I've got a sort of first review video on the channel, have a look at that. But in essence, these tyres, although labelled 47mm, come up at about 52. So they're quite a nice wide comfortable platform. But I bought them for mixed road and gravel riding near my place in Somerset. So I was concerned that for this they might struggle, but they seem to be doing okay. I'll try and take this looser section in the middle, let you see how you get on. I think Badger's WTB Senderos are probably going to be a more suitable tyre for this sort of thing. Not on this terrain, but certainly on the looser, chunkier stuff. But then I make up for it on the flat tarmac and bits. These definitely roll that bit nicer. You could hear the Senderos on the tarmac. Quite a noisy tyre. We'll have to see on durability who punctures first, if either of us, who knows. But between us we've got a fair bit of got some repair kits, and I've got those bloody stand starts that I don't really like, but I've got to try and use 3 of them up so I can move on to a new system. God help me if I'm trying to stick that in my tyre. But anyway, the scenery continues to be nice and perfect Mason Boker gravel conditions this. Skids are for kids. Badger's up here somewhere, just a small speck, because well, we were just coming along this lovely road in the middle of Wales, and he looks down and says, "Stop, I've lost a bag." And essentially the equivalent of this has departed from his bike. He's still got the 3 bolts on the fork, so the whole cage and bag has just departed from his bike. So with any luck you won't have to cycle back too far to collect it. And I've been really jacking. I've just stayed here in the sunshine. I'm going to have a little break and have some food, I think, so we'll catch up soon. Right, we'll take advantage of Badger's misfortune, have a quick chat through the bike and the gear and how we're getting on so far, albeit only, what, 25 miles into the trip. Tyres, I've banged on about those enough so far. They're holding up really, really well, giving me more grip than I thought they would for pretty much a slick tyre. Plenty of comfort, no issues at all. 1x GRX, I've still got that hankering to get a 2x system, I have to be honest. And if I was doing more of this and I stuck with 1x, then I would probably go with a 38 up front to give me that 38, 42. I know you can run an 11 to 46 on GRX 1x, although that would be quite gappy, I imagine. Bags all doing well. The cheapos from Planet X, I can definitely recommend those. If you're, you know, for me the fork mounted bag is probably the most obscure one. I wouldn't naturally use that, although actually I have to say thus far it's been a really nice place to store some kit, so maybe I will use them a bit more. But they were, I think, 25 quid for bag and cage from Planet X, and I think they've been really quite good. Other than that, the Fidlock bottles working really nicely with the Apogura frame bag. They just go in and out quite nicely. As you saw on Badger's bike, he's running a traditional bottle with a side entry cage, which is clearly another pretty good way to skin that. Everything else working out pretty nicely. I've got a bit of a sort of what do you even call that? A bodge job of a strap, I suppose. It's a nice Peak Design strap for wearing my camera around my body, and then I've basically got this other bit is an Endura belt that's come off of my cycling shorts, my mountain bike cycling shorts, just to stabilise across the body and stop the camera swinging around. And thus far it's been really comfortable, really nice. I clearly wouldn't want the camera out in the rain though, so it's probably a dry weather only option, to be honest, but suited me quite well. It feels like I've been waiting an eternity, so I'm going to backtrack as well and try and find Badger now, because I imagine when he does arrive here he's going to be absolutely threaders, Navy slang for pretty upset. He probably won't appreciate me videoing him anyway. So let's track our way back down this road, try and catch up with Badger. Hopefully by now at least he has made it back to his bag has secured it and is now back on this road somewhere, but he's been gone a long time and still no sight. Still nothing. I've travelled back about 2 miles now and I've run out of road and come back onto the gravel track that we were on, which in fairness is more likely to be where it's bounced off and he hasn't heard it hit the ground, so this is probably more likely to be where it was. I just really don't want to backtrack much more, but we're in this together. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go back up this gravel path. We found Badger. He is now bagless on his front right fork. He did not find the bag, and I don't think he's available for banter about it yet, but hopefully he'll come round to thinking it's not all bad. What was lost in the bag was minor stuff, and we've only lost about an hour, so all things said and done, not too bad. I'm trying to climb I think this is called Strata, Florida, which if you've done any bike packing, gravel riding, mountain biking in this part of Wales, you'll probably know that'll mean something to you. Certainly Badger and I did this bit last December as part of our winter body run.
I've lost my mascot.
Oh no.
Oh no, my little bear. All across France, lost it.
Wheels holding up okay?
Of course they are.
Got more grip than me, hasn't he?
Yeah, got less weight now as well.
Ooh.
So it's always a positive.
He's always had less weight than me because he's got bling kit. Wait till you see his tent tonight compared to mine. Wales definitely didn't get the memo on high pressure, nice summertime conditions. It is miserable and it's cold. And I'm wearing my insurance policy, which I really didn't think I would need to wear. Tomorrow better be warmer. Oh my word. Whew. Nicely tarmacked road this though. Really good condition. We were meant to be lower down in the valley floor. We kind of were forced away from a bike path, I think. We lots of signs saying no unauthorised access, and it was all gated and locked and stuff. We think in hindsight probably it shouldn't have been, but it was, so we didn't go down it. So we've taken the high road, literally, and I think we're making our way down to our campsite for the evening, but we are virtually boozeless, which is pretty disappointing. I had hoped to be able to get into a shop or a garage and pick up some tinnies, but it's not happened. Apparently there's a bridge just around this corner and that's it, that's our campsite for the night. But the last thing Badger said to me was, good, I can hear water. We need to collect some water to filter to make our meals tonight on the stove. And now we're up here, I can't hear any water. And I'm not cycling back down to get any. So he better hope he finds a good water source. Here's the bridge. Which Garmin is your awesome mapping on, Badger? Is it the one that's already died or the other one?
No, it's on both. I have OpenStreet mapping, you have Garmin mapping.
Mine's worked pretty well. We changed our mind, we're back on the road again. No, not really the road, we're back on the fire track again. It wasn't particularly discreet, it wasn't particularly flat for our tents. And worst of all, we were getting smashed by little sort of midges as soon as we stopped. So we decided to carry on. There's a bothy en route. We can't use bothies at the moment, they're all locked up, which is fine. But you can have campfires outside of bothies. And we should be able to camp there relatively easily in the surrounding grounds, if you like, of the bothy. We'll see if it's any better or not, but we've made that decision now. We'll crack on, and we're taking 3 miles off tomorrow's ride by doing this, I suppose, which is a nice thing. And it's nice just to be riding and not have midges all over your skin, so definite plus side, even if it is yet again uphill. Everything in Wales is uphill, but very beautiful. Could be more beautiful if the weather was nicer though, eh? Good news, bothy behind me closed, quite rightly because of coronavirus, but provides quite a nice area out the front to camp in. So we've done that. Bad news, the midges are still here and more ferocious than ever. So we've set our tents up, and now it's all about tent admin. So that's what a bothy looks like. That's the bothy out here. We came in up the valley that away, and then you can see down into the valley that way. Got the river running down the bottom, but there's a pick off up here which we're going to go and collect some water from for our evening meal. I've already donned my anti-mosquito trousers. Let's see if they actually work. And I've set the tent up, we're good to go. So I think I quipped earlier about our tents. Mine's a 90 quid Amazon job, but I'm pretty impressed with it. But look at this.
But it weighs.
Look at this. How much does yours weigh, Badger?
Almost as much as it cost. It's a 750 grams.
Yes, it's probably about half the weight of mine.
Yeah, but it's not very durable. So you've got to be careful.
Typical Badger, all the gear. He's got some sort of platypus filter system, so presumably collects some what is already pretty nice clean water. I mean, that looks good enough to drink straight out the river, but he's got something that filters it first and foremost to make it, I think, pretty much drinkable straight away, and then we're going to boil it anyway and use it for cooking. So should have, touch wood, no problems with that. Being next to the water source probably doesn't help with the midges, but there we go. Such a shame it's just so damp. That recent drizzle has just made everything really damp, and it's probably brought them out, I'm not sure. I've spent ages looking at how I'm going to do the North Coast 500 without being attacked by Scottish midges every 2 minutes, so maybe this is a good warm-up for that. We'll have to see. Badger's given me expedition quality adventure food, chicken curry. It doesn't really taste much like curry, but it is really quite nice. It definitely fits the bill after a long day cycling, so it's quite nice. Although the last time we did this in December, and he's got a video on his channel, I'll link that below, but we ended up in a pub probably is it five or so miles short of the bothy, and we got in there in daylight, had a lamb shank and 4 pints of real ale, and then cycled those last few miles in the pitch black, and it had snowed all the way to the bothy. It was a brilliant adventure though. Check out the video, because there's no point waffling about that here.
Bearing in mind I'm drinking. So it's
cheers.
It's tomorrow is 80 miles, although we can cut that down to about 65, which I think we're going to. Yeah, I think we're going to. So it's out of here through the forest, up. So there's a wind turbine right up there. You can just see coming. Well, you can't probably, but coming out of the cloud up onto the top there. So it's about an 800-foot climb over the top, and then racing downhill. Race downhill to a little town. They've got a garage there. Always work out where the garages are, particularly the 24-hour ones. We'll stock up with stuff for lunch, and that's about it, I think. And then we're climbing up again onto the high ground, and there's a track that is, what's her name? She's...
I've no idea.
No, she's called Kate. Is it Katie? I can't remember. But she has done a few videos, and she's got her own website. It's really good actually. Anyway, she says it's one of her nicest favourite rides.
Okay.
So we're going to get up over there, and it's basically all on the high ground, so not much more climbing, up a few ups and downs, and then we drop down again, back into a place called Llandilio.
If any of my subscribers are Welsh, I apologise.
And then we stock up for the night, where you're going to get all the beers in, and you're going to cycle them all the way up to the top. And then we carry on to the Elan Valley, and we can possibly stay there. Or was that boiling? I don't know. Possibly stay somewhere around there to wild camp again. Probably not with a fire though. And there is a campsite as well. Right, I think that's day 1 complete then, in the bag. Time to get some rest before we tackle whatever Badger has or hasn't planned for us tomorrow. See you in the morning.